Hey Bible lovers, I'm Tim Nichols, and I'm here to bring you your Nichols Worth. And today from Zondervan, we have the NIV Study Bible along with the Matthew Essential Guide. Now the Essential Guides, as far as I can tell, they have 4 of them completed. They have Genesis, Psalms, Matthew, and Romans. So let's take a look at the study guide real quick, and then we'll kind of dive into the Bible and what really makes it nice. This is kind of like a paperback, and it's going to be glued, not a sewn binding, but this has a 10.5 point font in the NIV Comfort print, and it has different questions and lessons. So if you want to take someone through the Gospel of Matthew using the NIV Study Bible as a guide, you have a large print option here, and then you can use the Study Bible for kind of all the references and different things. It does have some references here. I'll explain to you what that little leaf thing is here in just a minute. But anyhow, really nice. It is also a red letter edition. Again, questions for reflection. So if this is something you want to go through on your own, or if you want to take a class through, these are under $20, so they're not too bad. Now let's move into the NIV Study Bible. Now first, let me tell you what this is not, okay, because this is going to confuse some people. This is not the NIV Study Bible of the past. This is the NIV, also known as the Zondervan Study Bible, put out by Zondervan, but edited and worked on by D.A. Carson. And what this does, it's more of a theological work. So now it is actually called the Biblical Theology Study Bible. I'll put that in the link in the description, just in case this is the one you're looking for. This is an updated study Bible put out by Zondervan specifically for the NIV. This one happens to be a hardback. They have some leather soft and some different options. So anyhow, let's take a look at the inside. First of all, I just want to show you that it's a double column format, center column references, but I want to show you something else. Lately they've been doing their NIVs in like this blue letter. This is the Grace and Truth Study Bible, so this one is a black letter. So if you don't like the blue letter, this is a beautiful option. So with all that said, let's move to the front, because there's some things I want to explain to you that's very important on how to use the notes. What makes this different than the Biblical Theology Study Bible? What I want to show you is the 3 areas they primarily focus on in the commentary that kind of make it different from the previous NIV Study Bible. If you see the trowel or the little spade, then that is telling you that this is archaeological in nature, that the study notes kind of focus on archaeology and different kind of apologetic aspects. If you see the 3 little leaves here, then this tells you that it's a seedling, and it's calling attention to scriptural references that you can apply to your life, that have principles that you can apply. And then the last one is the little face icon. And what that one does is it shows you different kind of people and examples or groups of people, and sometimes appears in book introductions as well. So let's take a look at it. Let's get into, now as most of your study Bibles do, they're going to have extensive commentary. This is really cool. This actually also appears in the Cultural Background Study Bible. It kind of gives you documents that are related to biblical content and times. It's really slick. I encourage you to check it out. It has a chronology, all the things that you would see in several of Zondervan's works. It's full color with lots of illustrations, and you will see in this book introduction, it has the spade or the trowel there. So that's telling you that this section of the book introduction is dealing with something that's archaeological in nature. So once you get into the actual commentary itself, as you saw a minute ago, this is a 9-point font. This is a bit smaller, and I want to tell you something about this too. Okay, when you look at this, you're going to see the updated NIV Comfort print. But when you look down here, for example, when you see the G and the D here, you're going to notice those open letters, and you're going to notice that G looks different than in the updated Comfort print, because in the updated Comfort print, the G and the D look like this. So very interesting catch. I actually contacted Zondervan about that. They confirmed this is the original Comfort print, and this is the updated Comfort print. They also confirmed that I'm the first person to catch this, so I'm pretty excited about it. So anyhow, once you get into your full color illustrations and all that, you will see the seedling, which means we're talking about something that applies to your life. The face icon, which is talking about people or some kind of a group of people. And then when you see the trowel, then you will notice that is about archaeological finds. And sometimes a verse will deal with 2 different things. So they'll have 2 different of these icons. So as you kind of dive throughout this, you're going to see lots of color. You're going to see lots of pictures. This is going to be very typical of a study Bible. I love the fact that they take on 3 major themes in this study Bible, where they're talking about archaeological stuff, they're talking about people and places, and they're talking about application and how I can use this in my life. I think that is a beautiful touch, very easy to use, very nice and robust cross-referencing system, excellent notes. I love the way this thing is laid out. I absolutely think this is a treasure and something that is very useful, put together by a team of scholars that can be trusted, because Zondervan is a very trusted publisher. So when we get into the New Testament, of course, as you scroll throughout it, you're going to see tons of different images that kind of tell you the context of what's going on around the world at the time, or the context of the particular verse that you're reading. And again, introductions. And in these introductions, you're going to see those little icons. At the bottom, you're also going to get a timeline, so it's going to tell you kind of what was going on in history, what time it was in, like, was it 700 BC, 500 BC, and things like that. This thing is just absolutely loaded with maps throughout. There is just so much content here. And of course, between the Testaments, you're going to have all sorts of things. Another thing I didn't point out that's really cool is each book section is color coded. So let me close this so you can see that. So you have the writings of Moses, the poets, the prophets, the New Testament, the Pauline letters. Really cool. And when you get to the top of the page, you're going to see that accent color that matches to let you know what segment of the book you're in. And then on the opposite end of the page, it's going to tell you this is the historical books of the New Testament. So really slick. I love this. The 5 books of Moses, all color coded, so you can find them very easy. Each section, the poetic sections, and you have your prophetic sections, and then you have your middle of the Bible, which every study Bible has something in the middle where it defines the synoptic gospels, the early church timelines, and the apocrypha and why it is or isn't included. Most study Bibles are going to include stuff like that. Then we get into the gospels of the early church, which is color-coded red letter. This is again a 9-point font, paragraph format, except for in the poetic books. There's just so much to dive into this. It's impossible to cover in 5 minutes, but as you can see, this thing is awesome. Then the gospels in the early church, they include Acts in that. Then we get into the letters and Revelation, all the way to the end. You get to the book of Revelation, and after the book of Revelation, you have your study helps, indexes to notes. So if you're looking for a particular topic, in the notes you can find that. It's going to have your NIV concordance, and then lastly, it's going to have your Zondervan maps on Bible paper. Check that out. This thing's phenomenal. I ain't gonna lie. Now, I don't like dust jackets, so I'm gonna take it off just to show you what it would look like without the dust jacket, and I'm not too impressed. So for this one, I'm going to leave the dust jacket on it just because it looks better with it. So anyhow, it's probably more than a nickel's worth, but I'm telling you what, this family of study Bibles put out by Zondervan are incredible. I'm going to link all these in the description to include the updated Biblical Theology Study Bible and the Grace and Truth Study Bible and the Essential Guide. There's just so much. Anyhow, there you have it. Keep calm. Jesus on.